this way. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Thank you, man.
need no worries.
I need-
What's your name?
My name is Segue, and he's Simi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year. What happens when two communist tyrants come together, partition a country unfairly, then said country dissolves because of a bunch of ethnic conflicts, and then you get independence, continue to get bullied by your neighbors for eternity? That's when you get North Macedonia. Hello and welcome to Skopje, the weirdest capital city in all of Europe. Let's do a count the number of statues and Macedonian flags, shall we? So here's a statue, there's a statue, there's a statue, there's a statue, there's a statue. So just 5. Okay, that's just on this bank. So behind me is the Varda river, which I'll walk to in just a bit. Just standing over here, 5 statues, and they aren't old or anything, neither are they significant. Just built in 2014 to give the city a new sort of look or image, which is so weird. Okay, on that side there's a few more, so that's funny by itself. Then you have the number of flags. There's one on the fort over there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big one, 6. Okay, there is 6, then 7, then 8 North Macedonian flags. So much nationalism. Okay, like bro, we get it, this is North Macedonia, you know. When I say Macedonia, the first person you think of is Alexander the Great. He was Macedonian, and so that's why they have this statue. But that's not Alexander the Great. That is the warrior on a horse. You see, this country wasn't always called North Macedonia. Originally, it was Macedonia after it split off from Yugoslavia. Now, Greece didn't quite like this, because when you think of where Alexander was born, you think Macedonia, but that's actually the Greek province of Macedonia, not this Macedonia. So Greece really took offense to this, saying that you're stealing our culture, heritage, history, and they blocked this country's attempts to enter into the EU, into NATO, and these are pretty serious things. An agreement was reached. Macedonia renamed itself to North Macedonia, and this statue over here, it is essentially Alexander. Okay, that's the kind of heritage and history that people of this land like to claim for themselves, even though really factually that's quite incorrect. So when Greece, made a lot of noise about this statue, it was originally called Alexander the Great statue, then these guys renamed it to Warrior on a Horse. But come on, everyone knows that's Alexander. Hello. So that's Tsar Simuil. Okay, I hope I'm reading that correctly, pronouncing that correctly. And he's the ruler of the first Bulgarian state or empire, or as in Macedonia they call it, the first Macedonian empire. So already you're starting to see some sort of a rift, because of course it's New Year's Eve. There's also a New Year countdown which is going on, and right below the Alexander statue there's some people practicing their music. So it'll be fun to come here at night to experience the countdown, get into 2026 right underneath the fake Alexander the Great statue. It's still pretty early in the morning, and I found a nice little bakery over here. So I'm gonna go try and get breakfast, but I don't eat eggs, remember? And neither do I eat meat. So here's Google Translate to the rescue. I'm gonna ask if I can get something. Let's give it a shot. Hi. Do you have anything? Okay, so they do have something.
Cheese.
Can I not have cheese? Without cheese, do you have?
So сирење имаш?
No eggs?
Само ги бре чиз?
No cheese.
Готово.
No. Okay.
Вид чиз?
I don't want I don't want with cheese. I don't want anything with cheese. No.
No
Without
cheese.
cheese.
No.
No, I don't need cheese.
Ни без ништо, нема без. No.
Oh, nothing, is it?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll get half.
No half. Пола, не може. It's complete.
Okay, I'll get one. Yeah. Alright. Thank you.
Ти кажам сега.
How much is it? 225.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, snag of the morning. So it wasn't 225, it was just 25. Yeah? So that's less than $1, which is crazy value for something that is obviously fresh out of the oven this morning. And I didn't have change, so I had put down 2 times 10 dinar notes. Then the lady beside me was like, no, don't put down 200, you don't need to pay 200, in some like broken Macedonian English. Then I was like searching for 5, because all I had was like 100 dinar notes, right? She just put down a 5 dinar coin and like, yeah, go ahead, don't worry. So nice people, I love that. Like, typically so far in the Eastern European countries I've been to, people have been a bit cold. Here's the first place where I'm seeing actually a lot of, sort of bazaar life, outdoor kind of market kind of vibe. People are so nice and chill. Oh, and of course, how can I forget the pretzel itself? It's very nice. It tastes fantastic. Can you hear the crumbs? Very good. Highly recommend. The scenes and the noises around me remind me a lot of Asia. It's huge, there's a lot of people talking, a lot of bustle, which makes sense because New Year's Eve, people are going to have a big dinner with their family tonight. But look at this, you could mistake this for being Bangkok or something like that. But no, this is Skopje, a city in Europe. Can you believe it? I love how fresh and vibrant the scenes around me are, the colors of the fruits. Clearly, no, these aren't old. They look fantastic. And I want to show you guys one more thing. So over here, can you see that? That's something like lutenica. Lutenica, ayva, these are all like tomato pastes which people in the Balkans eat, and it's usually damn tasty. This is rice. This is some nuts, I don't know, but this is the first time I'm seeing rice being sold like this by the kg. Usually you buy it in a supermarket. I haven't bought rice outside, so I wouldn't quite know, right? Growing up in Singapore. And this some fermented thing, I think. I don't know. This something is fermenting here also, some onion kind of pickle. This is cabbage fermenting for sure. Very tasty, by the way, very, very tasty. It's just, I can't cook it, but highly recommend. If you ever come to the Balkans, try some dishes with that. The cabbages over here look to be the size of a baby. They're huge, and they have it both in the green and the purple version. They seem to eat a lot of purple cabbages over here. Hello. So yeah, I am gathering quite a bit of attention. Even the chilies over here look very nice. Hello. A lot of garlic as well. They seem to love their garlic. There's so many different types of garlic. Garlic pickles, garlic... What is this? What is this? I don't know. I'm not an expert at reading Cyrillic yet. But okay, there's some honey as well. Homemade honey. I think this is apple cider vinegar. And you can see how real and authentic it looks and tastes. Ooh. If I was living in Skopje, trust me, I would spam this market and try out everything over here. But okay, well, bit of turnips, bit more fruits and vegetables. Hey, as a vegetarian, this is so fascinating to me. So bear with me if I'm a bit boring. Some more mushrooms. When I was in Bulgaria, I was staying in a mountain village for a while, and the owner of that place wanted me to come pluck wild mushrooms with him, but we couldn't because it was winter. One thing a friend of mine from Southern Europe said is that when you walk in Southern Europe, the smell of olives will hit your nostrils, and that is exactly true over here. Look at so many different kinds of olives. Oh. And that's how a transaction happens up here in North Macedonia, in the Balkans. It actually smells very nice, but I don't know what I'm buying, And hello. Ooh. A bit spicy. Green olive now. Very sour. Merci. Thank you. Bye. What nice people. But yeah, it's 31st December. People are bustling around, a lot of activity. The fruits and vegetables look amazing. Some Balkan music coming from the distance. What an experience. As I continue to munch on my pretzel, bagel, whatever it is over here, there's a shop called Burek House. And if and when you come to the Balkans, burek is the thing to get. Unfortunately, I'm a weird guy who doesn't eat meat or cheese or eggs, whatever. But if you do, I think this would be a place to get some. I swear this is not what I expected when I came to Skopje. But seriously, this market is huge. Literally not something I would have expected of Europe, This is such an Asia thing to do. It's huge. You can find everything, luggage, some antiquities and whatnot. It's huge. And people are actually shopping over here. This is not some touristy kind of thing. So many people here. They're selling fireworks for the New Year's, some alcohol. Wow. The Skopje, as you know and see today, was shaped after the refurbishments they did during 2014 to give the city a more modern look. But the way they did this was to create old buildings. Does that make sense to you? Create old buildings. So they built buildings like this and whatnot, okay? Give it an old look, but by putting some plaster on it and whatnot, because this city was completely damaged during an earthquake in 1963. There isn't too much history here to talk about as well, but they wanted to give themselves a very Greek look, a very Rome, Athens kind of thing, but there's only so much you can create, right? The most obvious giveaway that a statue is irrelevant or it's very new is that none of the water fountains are working. Right, if this was actually important to the city, they would have had the water fountains running, if it was historically important and whatnot. Nope, none of that. It's just a very kitschy, very, ego-driven project. There's supposed to be like an eternal flame there, I think. I'm very sure that's the purpose of that. But again, no flame. It's just all empty. Yeah, you build something so nice, then there's no one here also. So such a waste of money if you think about it. One of India's most prominent personalities is Mother Teresa, and she was born right here in Skopje. Yes, actually born over here. Now, I feel uneasy calling her Mother Teresa because she wasn't exactly a nice person. There's this book called Hell's Angel, I think, by Christopher Hitchens. Go read it up. She wasn't exactly a nice person. Like, she would treat people for the sake of converting them and not actually treating them. So she did quite a bit of evil stuff. I feel a bit uncomfortable discussing religion. So go read the book. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This behemoth of a building behind me, yeah, a real behemoth, is the National Museum of North Macedonia. I don't know what history do they have to put inside this, but well, it does have a 3.7 star rating on Google Maps, so that probably says something. I don't know whether it got review bombed by its neighbors, but 3.7 stars, and of course it was built in 2014. It's not older than that. You can see some sort of damage on the sides over here already, so I don't think this is actual marble, and I doubt the public would have been happy to have spent actual money with marble building this. It's all a facade. It looks like it's there, but it's really not there. And all these statues right on the side of the Vardar river over here, they seem to be like green, rusting and whatnot. I really would not be surprised if these were painted green to give it that sort of effect, instead of it actually having aged and rusted over 10 years. Even the buses in Skopje are fake. What do I mean by that? Take a look. Yeah, that looks like a typical London red bus, doesn't it? But no, not even close. These aren't even second-hand from the city of London. These are actually made in China to look like the red buses in London, to give the city a London feel. That's the level of kitsch and fakeness, and it's a stupid kind of fakeness in my opinion. Quite funny to see. Amidst all the funny fakeness and kitsch, don't forget that this was once Yugoslavia, a communist country, so you can still see concrete apartment blocks, the brutalist architecture which would define most of the Eastern Bloc back in the day. Beside me, I have a bull over here. This is not New York, this is not London, this is not any sort of major financial center where you have a bull to represent a bull run. I have no clue why it's over here. I feel like I've clowned on Skopje's history and heritage a bit too much, so let me try to redeem myself, okay? This is the stone bridge, built by the Ottomans in the 15th century, and it was built to last. And it has lasted, obviously. It lasted through the earthquake in 1963. The Nazis wanted to blow it up, but the locals have managed to prevent it. So yes, Skopje does have history and heritage. So take that, you evil Greeks and Bulgarians. It's very nice just taking a stroll across this bridge, and it always hurts my heart when I see a river like this. It's so clean and so beautiful. And in South Asia, where I was born, I have some heritage over there, right? We have so many great rivers like the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Indus in Pakistan, and all of these rivers are just choked with rubbish. They're so polluted. Seriously, some sort of effort can be made to keep them clean, revive them. But oh well, what can I say? So many attempts have been made, and it'll just be another corruption attempt. Here you have another statue of another Greek looking dude. Yeah, they're obsessed with Greece, right? It's like, those anime weeaboos in America, but imagine this is a Greek version, but it's a whole country. That's what North Macedonia is. Even here it's written Philippine of Macedon, ancient Hellenic history. Bro, the Greeks won't let you hit. In fact, they will hit you. Bridge leads you from the Alexander statue to the Ottoman old market. So again, this is actually old, unlike most of Skopje, and it's a very touristy place, to be very honest. Most of the shops are selling like souvenirs, and there aren't that many locals or people buying actual stuff. It's more like fridge magnets and that sort of atmosphere. So not like real authentic Skopje, but to be honest, what really is authentic over here? If you want to cosplay as a soldier in Alexander's army, here it is, the entire piece of armor, right? The chainmail and everything, which is very weird because It's right in the middle of the street. It's not part of any shop or some touristy thing. It's literally out in the open and nobody's even like trying it on or whatever. And I don't want to go touch it just in case it's actually some shops and they shout at me or whatever. It would be very awkward. Trick question. How do you find out if somebody's from Turkey? They will tell you. And hi, do you want to have the Angela Merkel baklava? For all the clowning I do on North Macedonia and Skopje, actually this is not the country's main tourist destination. It's actually Lake Ohrid, that's how you pronounce it. Lake Ohrid, I think that entire town is UNESCO protected. It's a big place, you know, it's very pretty. But it's in the southwest, a bit far from Skopje and not on my itinerary, so I'm not going over there. That's the place to go in North Macedonia actually. All my clowning is a bit unfair. If you do come to this country, head over there. You could skip Skopje, just a day or two at max. Man, I have to say I love the open air market a lot more than the Ottoman era market. The Ottoman market was so touristy and people just quoting exorbitant prices. People at the open air market were a lot kinder, a lot more genuine. And I think that's where actual Macedonians go to shop. This Ottoman era market is just for tourists like me, dirty tourists. There's this counterfeit market right on the side of the road. I know most of them are counterfeit because when I show the camera they aren't too happy and they look counterfeit. I'm very sorry. Really, this is not a scene I would have imagined in Skopje, North Macedonia, the heart of Europe. This is more Delhi vibes, almost as a mocker to see what kind of fake goods are circling around here. Look at that. Can you see? That's not Uno, that's Oun. Yeah, that's Uno's weird brother. Over here, for example, you have a bunch of branded socks, but of course, branded, it's a bit like Vietnam, I think. I don't know whether these are like factory rejects or they're actually just fakes. Anyways, I got myself a few socks because why not? They look cool, like things like these, you know. I highly doubt any of them are actually branded or up to that same quality, but okay, just for the style and the dapper, you know. This big counterfeit market also gives way to a fruit market again, so very vibrant colors yet again, and I prefer like to be in a more fruity part of the place. That counterfeit market was very shady vibes. Yeah, I know that the Albanian mafia like sort of is present and does stuff in Skopje. I did read about it on the internet, so I don't want to be messing around with the operations. Just not something I want to do on New Year's Eve. I don't want to be too repetitive and bore you guys out with market content, but seriously, like, look at this. Look at how big this entire place is. Just as far as the eye can see, all the way till there, it's just markets and people selling fruits and vegetables. You would have heard of Borough Market, I think, in London, so that's very popular. People don't know about Skopje's own outdoor fruits and vegetables market, and I think it deserves some sort of mention. This is actually very impressive and it's not touristy at all. This part of the market, there's a lot of locals like haggling, probably buying for their dinners tonight with their families, New Year's Eve. Just same as the other market which we saw, but here also it's very, very authentic. All the babushkas, all the uncles, grandpas and grandmas selling and buying stuff. So vibrant. Can you hear the noise? Yeah? See, for example, these uncles, right? Just discussing life. So nice to see. And the produce is very fresh, like I've mentioned so many times. Like, look at all of this. Yeah, the grapes, the oranges, the bright red tomatoes. Really puts it into perspective, right, that this is a bazaar. So I think that's why I need to make the distinction that yes, this is Europe, but this is a bazaar. It has that Turkish, it has that Asian little twist to it. It's not a market, you know. Photo?
Hold on, send me.
Okay, sure, yes. Okay. Gathering a lot of attention over here. I think most of these people are like Albanians or Turkish. So I don't know what's the difference between them and Macedonians, by the way, so don't come and bite me. But yeah, somebody asked me to take a photo of them. Very, very vibrant. Yeah, not the typical Europe that I have in mind. I keep saying that, but it's so true. So you guys know by now, I'm not a big cheese fan, but there's also a bunch of cheese over here. All of this is just cheese. And it looks pretty nice actually. Yeah. Cheese. Hello. Balkan cheese. This is feta cheese? Yeah. Yeah, so they have a bunch of feta cheese as well, because they eat that a lot in this part of the world. Very fascinating to see, and it's just out in the open, you know. North Macedonia was of course part of Yugoslavia before it collapsed, and Yugoslavia being a communist country, there was a lot of industrial factories and whatnot. And here we have an abandoned factory, so I'm gonna trespass illegally actually. So what a way to spend New Year's Eve. It's full of rubbish. Okay, thank goodness my nose is blocked, because I don't think this would have a great smell. Look at it. Yeah, this is the guardhouse, full of graffiti. That's the way I entered, because the actual gate is closed. And oh wow. Okay.